Okay, good. So let's get right into this. You guys know how this works. If you don't, it's really simple. So you get about 5 to 7 minutes per call. We do about 30 minutes. You call this phone number right here. I'm going to put in the chat section. It is 407-279-1754. Again, 407-279-1754. You're going to see me in live action. We are live right now. It is November 25th, 11:25 p.m. You will see me answering calls. No story mode when you call in. Use a fake name. We don't go into detail because I don't know your full claim, okay? Also, keep in mind, when you're going through this stuff, have your legal question ready. Be ready to roll. Try not to stack questions. You know, a lot of people, they do this like, okay, I have a question. I answer it. Okay, I have another question. I answer it. I have another question. It's not fair to other people who are calling in. You know, maybe one extra question, fine. But, you know, don't, you know what I mean? Because some people, I have another, and then they go through this whole yada yada, okay? Now, with that said, this phone will ring. It's live. It's real time. So if you see me on a call with somebody, don't keep calling in over and over and over again, because I'll just have to keep Xing it while I'm on the phone call with the person that I'm currently running the program with. Now, final notes. As we go through this, I don't know your whole situation. A lot of people are like, okay, I got this, this, and this. I get the general stuff. So, you know, based off of general stuff, I try to do the best I can with figuring it out. Some of you will ask me questions that are a cluster bleep of many problems colliding into one. If you have a situation like that and you want to go into further detail with me so I understand what's actually going on in full detail, there's a mini contract below to do a private session for an hour. We set up your hour in between the hearings, okay? All right, with that said, now that we've gone through the rules, I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone line to 407-279-1754. Here we go. I'm going to wait for the first person to go ahead and dial in. While I'm waiting, I'm going to answer any questions that pop up in the chat section. Kosher said, question, will the SSA be annoyed if I buy a $109,000 vehicle if I'm approved? Going to live in it. There's a provision for SSI with the whole RV thing, so just be aware of that. SSDI doesn't matter, but SSI, it does matter. Okay, recreational vehicle restriction. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi, I have a question. My question is about, I've had my hearing just recently, but my concern is I had my workers' comp settlement, and I've taken a settlement, and the settlement stated that I did not have to pay back short-term or long-term disability payment.
Okay.
However, if the hearing for SSA is approved, it gives them the right to collect
back pay and retroactive,
the money back, all the money back that they paid for when I was off. So my concern for me is, do I have a choice of giving them this money back? Because it says I wasn't supposed to have to pay back short-term or long-term. So what does this entail, paying them what?
So, I mean, you can contract whatever you want with the final agreement that you sign. But at the end of the day, the way it normally works, you know what I mean, the stuff that they normally slide through, with that stuff, what happens is, you know, basically once you become found disabled for the regular LTD claim, you know, some LTD benefits continue for life. Some of them, they stop once you get SSDI benefits. And then basically for each month that you're supposed to be receiving LTD benefits, they also take the benefits from your back pay to try and offset those as well. So the whole idea with this situation is most people know that they're not getting any back pay out of the gig. They're just getting forward pay going forward. Now remember, the attorney still gets their 25%, but the rest of it gets sucked over to the LTD carrier.
And if I don't like this agreement, do I have to go through with it?
Well, I mean, you can go ahead and change the agreement however you want within statute language. You can reject it and wait longer and see what you can get. You can ask for a larger number as part of the settlement. You know, remember, settlements are, you know, whatever you want to make it out to be. Settlement is a custom agreement where you agree to a certain outcome. But remember, the attorneys, tend to play the game where they'll just tell you, you got to sign this. These are the terms they're willing to accept. Otherwise, they're not going to accept it. And they'll pigeonhole you into a forced settlement in workers' comp, LTD, all that stuff. So, to be very, very clear with this situation, I don't think the legal field is always on your side in the LTD arena. I know a good LTD attorney that gets really good results, but most of the LTD attorneys I know have a whole bag of tricks to basically get somebody to just sign a settlement so they can get done with the claim and move on to the next one.
Yeah, I think that's the case, and I didn't realize that until now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, definitely, if you have that information, I would like it forwarded to me because I may have to utilize it or either I'm just going to come up with a plan B because I don't know for 3 to 6 weeks if I will get approved for disability.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if I do, then I have to deal with this baggage.
Wait, how long ago was the hearing? Yeah.
A week ago.
So you got, the average, hearing decision letter is 3 to 4 months. So you got a bit more than a couple weeks. But, remember, and then keep in mind too, it could be a partially favorable, it could be a fully favorable. Like you don't know what kind of decision you're going to get. The attorney may call you with a judgment, wanting to go ahead and move and amend the alleged onset date. So, that could affect the back pay too. But again, the LTD people, they're going to get what they can get from the agreement that you sign with the judge.
Okay, I don't like that part. But okay, I'll see what I can do. But definitely, I would like that LTD attorney just in case, so I can see if I can renegotiate the ending terms or not before accepting that settlement. Because it's not. Do I have to accept that settlement before it can go forward?
No, the settlement's up to you. You're the captain of that ship. Settlements, the client is always in control of the settlement. Unless it's a criminal trial, then control is shared a little bit more with some other players. Yeah.
Right. No, it's not anything.
No, it's LTD. Yeah. So it's not that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Do I need to get a pen on paper? Or?
Oh, no. Call me tomorrow and then ask me for basically his phone number and law firm. He used to have his own law firm, then he joined a bigger one. Basically, because the thing is, the old guys that do law, they don't know how to advertise or compete in the modern market. So bottom line is he just joined up with a larger one, but he still does the exact same thing they did under his own umbrella. So, but just reach out to me tomorrow. I'll get you his stuff. Then you can go ahead and begin the ball with, talking with him. But remember too, if you already have an LTD attorney, he may not be able to go on board, may be able to go on board depending on what the agreement is with what the attorney that's currently working on it.
I don't have an LTD attorney. I have a disability attorney. I mean,
okay.
He doesn't really deal with that.
No, yeah.
He's only doing just, basically the workers. He's actually a workers' comp attorney.
Okay.
And
he's helping you with SSDI. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I would highly recommend getting an LTD attorney, highly recommend, because let me tell you, that's important. You know what I mean? That's, you can get a small amount of money, or you can get a big amount of money. And I'm always of the belief that big amount of money where they get a percentage is better. You know what I mean? And the other side of the coin is, that you're getting the biggest, option that you can get then, because you're battling it out until you're in those settlement negotiations. So, but just reach out to me tomorrow. You can always shoot me a text or give me a call. Keep in mind, I'm going to be running around a lot tomorrow. So if you get back office, if you call in, just ask them for who the firm recommends for LTD benefits.
Okay, I sure will.
Perfect. Sounds good. You have a wonderful night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Perfect. I'm going to call that other person who called in real quick. Let me see if I can get him on the phone. I'm clicking some buttons. I'm trying to make this thing work. Putting the speakerphone on. Let's see if we can get this person real quick to go ahead and answer the phone, and then we'll get his question rolling. Let's see if he can answer the phone real quick. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. What is your legal question? Remember to use a fake name throughout the process. Go ahead.
Hey, Walter.
Howdy.
You just said something that interested me. I got a partial favorable.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering what the difference is between a fully favorable and a partial favorable decision.
So the only difference between there's three flavors, right? You got unfavorable, partially favorable, and fully favorable. Unfavorable means you're getting denied. Partially favorable means they're approving you, but they're moving the alleged onset date. What that means is that they looked at it and they said, you know what? We think he's disabled, but we don't think he was disabled all the way back to this date. We don't have the medical evidence going all the way back to this date. And so then they move the alleged onset date forward and pick a date that makes sense based off of the work record, the medical record, the administrative record. And that's what a partially favorable is. It's where the judge is deciding a claim and giving you benefits, but he is restricting it to a smaller period. Ergo, you get less retroactive and back pay benefits than you would have had if you had potentially the date you wanted it back to.
Okay, so I've been on for about a year now, and I'm very happy with the outcome. I just wondered what the difference between those were.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
That was my question.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Thank you, good sir. You have a wonderful night. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, so then fully favorable, you get the date you requested. If you have an attorney, the date is usually farther back in time because the attorney can pick out from the record what looks good, and then use all the administrative knowledge and legal knowledge and judicial knowledge and blah, blah, blah to pick a good date. But if you don't have an attorney, you just pretty much go by whatever the filing date was and hope it works out. That's usually how it goes, Let's see if we can get another call. So we did miss another one. I'm going to click on this one real quick. I'm going to get it rolling. I'm going to put the speaker on. Let's see if we can get this person on the phone real quick. Ooh, strong ring. That phone's got a strong ring. Let's see. Howdy, good sir. This is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember, he's a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Recently had a third CE.
Mm-hmm.
They x-rayed a shoulder that's been broken since 2004, and they x-rayed my lower back. Don't understand why they x-rayed my lower back. Is this something I should be worried about?
So what happened in 2004 and what happened thereafter musculoskeletal wise?
I fell down a flight of stairs and tore my ligament, so my shoulder is the collarbone sticks up. But that's not why I'm getting disability.
Any lung issues, any blood issues, any musculoskeletal issues in the lower, mid, or upper back?
Nothing that I know of in the back. I've got diabetes, stage 3 kidney failure, and quadruple heart bypass.
Okay. Well, look, sometimes the SSA will send you to a CE because they make a mistake and they're like, shit. You know what I mean? Like, we'll pay for it. We sent them. It is what it is, yada, yada, because they'll mark something down. Because all I see inside the DDE, which is like the big report that they make to explain why they decided the way they decided, is, claimant claims this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. And if they have it on there that you have a back issue all the way up through your neck to the lumbosacral, which is the low part of the, the upper part of the butt, lower part of the back, then, bottom line is, they could have been getting an x-ray to see what's going on. Are you using any ambulatory devices, crutches, canes, walkers, wheelchairs, anything like that?
I use a crutch for dizziness.
Okay.
Not a crutch, what do you call it, the hand one.
Okay, gotcha. Have you, in any way, fashion, or form, help me out with this, have you, whatchamacallit, have you had any incidents, bending over incidents, lack of range of motion incidents, anything like that?
To an extent. I've got problems with my legs,
Mm-hmm.
where I have difficulties walking any real distances, and I have problems with my knees.
Okay.
And standing up.
Okay. I mean, hey, what I would say is this: they're probably just checking, or there might have been some doctor who notated something that they wanted to take a look-see and see how you were limited, or they were building up documentation to prove that you weren't limited in your back. Remember, sometimes medically it's an exclusion thing,
Okay.
Yeah, so Furry said could be neuropathy. It could be a lot of stuff. I mean, it could be a fibro claim. You could have claimed I got pain all over kind of gig. It could be anything, but
Well, yeah.
yeah.
I've got neuropathy in my feet and in my arms, so.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing is the back is kind of like, the highway for everything. And so they tend to look at that. But for them to get an x-ray, though, there must have been somewhere in that report a complaint about issues with your back. But what this probably came down to, and I don't know why you were found disabled. Could have been a vocational allowance that was, but they could have been looking at what your potential lifting capacity would be, as a comparison under the 8-step sequential process. So I mean, that could be part of the equation to see if there's any back problems. Now, obviously, you got shoulder problems with the one arm. Do you have issues with the other arm as well?
No, I have problems with my primary arm.
Okay.
I don't have any problems with my left.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So, all right, bottom line is it could have been a mistake, could be something we're checking out, could have been an exclusion thing. I don't know. But if you get a copy of the DDE, that'll tell you why.
Okay, the DDE.
Mm-hmm. The disability determination explanation.
Is that something they would have out without saying yes or no?
Oh, so no, I mean, no, it's not. You have to ask them for it, and they don't like to give it to non-attorneys. So it's one of those things where you have to get somebody who's actually willing to print it out and give it to you. Or you can request your entire record on an exhibit disc and see if it's on there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Excellent, good sir. Sounds good.
Thank you much. I appreciate your help, sir.
Thank you, good sir. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So we have reached the halfway mark on the show. There are some individuals who called in. I'm going to see if I can get some of these other people who called in tonight. Let me see if I can get this rolling. Here is the other one that called in. Let me click here. Perfect. Put the speaker on. Let's see if we can get this individual rolling. Let's see what we got here. Can we get the person to answer? Let's see if we can get them to go ahead and answer and get the questions rolling. Usually they don't ring this much. We'll see what happens. Come on. Okay, so that person's not answering. We're switching. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi, so I was actually looking at the whole process, and I was wondering, with so many changes going on within disability and the other, I guess, sectors, for someone that's gone undiagnosed for a majority of their life and has not physical disabilities, but, mental, be it, what's, I guess, the likelihood of being approved for disability, or really has it become more difficult than it has been?
I mean, so okay, I think what you're asking me is for the 12.0 mental listings, the mental impairments, has it gotten easier to be found disabled under the mental listings or more difficult? Is that what you're asking me?
Right, but I'm under the assumption that it's become more difficult to get those benefits.
It has
in recent times.
Yeah,
that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, no, it has. It's become more difficult to get approved for disability benefits. So I mean, it's just the mental side definitely more, because remember, a lot of people used to get what was so-called, quote, the crazy check, and it was not hard to get. And then the evolution was you could get way back in the day a physician's assistant or nurse to say, you had anxiety, and then you would get the check. Then it became the doctor said it. Then it became the specialist said it. Then it became, you had multiple specialists say it. And then it became, okay, is this person actually in a mental behavioral institute for multiple days overnight? And that's kind of where we're at now. The standard they're looking for is crisis medical treatment, where the individual has to go into some sort of mental facility to really have an option of getting access to this in many instances, or a lot of other good signs of the impairment. Like a lot of people that have mental impairments, they don't realize that they aren't taking time and action to create signs for their impairment. So like, let's say somebody has OCD, right? And they're constantly flipping a door handle, tying their shoes, touching a spot, cleaning an area over and over and over and over again. A sign of that impairment would be that the knuckles on their hands, right, are really red and calloused, and their fingertips are all worn out because they're constantly repetitively doing some sort of function with their hands. or they'll have a shoe and the shoe is worn out in a certain spot from constantly moving their foot. So what a lot of things that I always tell, people with mental impairments is, what are your signs? So let me ask you, because this will be a good, example to people. What do you believe is your most severe impairment?
So definitely ADHD, OCD. I wouldn't really fall under, I don't say. Possibly autistic spectrum, and then also I've gone to like a psychiatrist and psychologist before, and have questioned schizophrenia or definitely paranoia as a factor. But that's what I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
As an example.
So if you just boil it down, like, what would you say your top three are? Like worst, second worst, and third worst?
Paranoia, ADHD. The schizophrenia thing, I think, just falls under paranoia with the symptoms we discussed. But really, those are the big two: ADHD and paranoia. Okay,
so paranoia. What would be a sign of paranoia?
Like I would describe to them, the psychiatrist, the thought processes that would go in my head. I would see something that seemed off and it would just snowball, like the thoughts. And it could be tied in with the ADHD, because it's like I can't really control the thoughts. They just keep running. And it's just like, it's a neurological condition. Absolutely. I know that for certain, but I can't precisely pinpoint it to one thing. But definitely between those two, I feel firmly that those would be the categorization.
So what would a judge use in a hearing to write down a bullet point that says this is something that is absolute proof that they're dealing with extreme paranoia?
Well, I guess there's no absolute proof other than the doctor's notes of, like, there's just multiple examples. Like, it literally affects so many aspects of the life that it would just be describing certain circumstances. As for the ADHD, I have been prescribed Adderall and treatment for it, and also I have been prescribed medication for paranoia and schizophrenia, if not, like antidepressants and other things.
Let me ask you this: when you have paranoia, what happens? Do you grab your hair? Do you hold yourself? Do you rock back and forth?
I definitely perspirate a lot. I have like heavy breathing. It's definitely a neurological thing, because like my thought process just changes, and everything just feels exaggerated.
Okay, but what physically happens to your body? Blood pressure?
Perspiration. Like, I can't really control the way I vocalize certain things. Like, I just kind of run on talk. Like, I can't really control my sentences, and there's no, like, I'm not banging on walls. I definitely have frustration. Like, that definitely becomes a part of it, where it's like I feel like I have to express those thoughts, and they physically manifest sometimes, but I do pretty well at controlling it, I'd like to think.
Okay. So I guess my point to you is your blood pressure probably goes up, right?
Yes.
So do you have an Apple Watch that can show your blood pressure going up and link it to when it's occurring?
I don't. That's not something I really monitor at a constant rate, but I do every once in a while check with like a monitor to check the pulse and the heart rate, all that, when it feels like it's getting excessive. But
okay, well, do you feel that if you're sweating a lot, your pressure will go up? Do you think that that's a good sign that basically you can link it to exactly when, if you wrote it down in a journal that you were having a panic attack, and then you would have physical proof of what's happening internally in your body?
Right. I see. So I would document it, you're saying, whenever.
Yeah.
In whatever way I could.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is, so many people don't create the evidence that already exists. Sometimes you got to create the situation that creates the evidence. Like classic Dr. House. If you aren't sure what it is, make it worse, and then you'll know. But bottom line here is, you already have options for good evidence that proves physically how your body is reacting to this. That's evidence that you need.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I definitely appreciate the answer. It's very concise and definitely going to give me more to look into, but I'll start there for sure. Tracking the symptoms and going from there.
Okay. Perfect. Excellent.
Right.
Sounds
Thank
good,
you so
sir.
much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
You too.
Thank you. Perfect. So somebody asked about the house repairs that are happening at the rental home. They're actually super slow right now because my house, the roof is actually collapsing from hurricane damage. I mean, I got hit with 3 hurricanes this year, so, is what it is. So a lot of my focus and energy has basically been on the house I live in, getting that kind of fixed up, kind of repaired, stuff like that. But I will be back to, I was working a lot of the weekend on the rental home. It's slow because when you don't have vast amounts of money, you can't, you know what I mean? Like, you can't hire crews of people all the time. You can hire them maybe like once every 2 months to do like a big thing. So with me, I'm learning how to do everything, but it just takes me longer because, as one person, it just takes longer to do stuff. But anyways, let's see what else is going on here. We don't have a caller calling in, so let me check real quick and see if there's any questions here. Let's see what's going on. Let me scroll. Okay, cool. Jamie said, do you know if that would be more or less beneficial? Oh, I'm not sure. That's like an add-on question. All right, this will be the last call. Here we go. And we are speaker on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Hi, Attorney Walter.
Howdy, good sir.
How are you?
Very good. Go ahead. Yeah, remember, you got to mute the whatever you're watching the YouTube video on over there. You just got to mute the YouTube video so you can hear us through the phone.
Yeah, my name is Greg.
Howdy.
Couple questions.
Sure.
I just had approval for my CDR
Okay.
this January this year.
Mm-hmm.
What would be, you think my next one would be?
Well, I mean, it depends on what kind of impairments you have, how severe you are. If your impairments aren't that severe, 12 months. If they're a little, pretty, 3 years, and if they're really, really severe, you're looking at 5 to 7 years. Or if they're extreme, then not at all.
Okay. What is you consider severe? In my case,
for which impairment?
I have 3 or 4 different impairments.
Okay, so help me. Give me the details. Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with the CRPS.
Mm-hmm.
Regional pain syndrome.
Yeah, give me the top 5 bullet points.
Yeah, I have CRPS. I have a herniated disc on my L4-5 and L4-5 on my lower back.
Mm-hmm.
I had a surgery on my had a cervical nerve pinch on my neck.
Okay.
I had a fusion done a couple years ago.
Neck or back?
Neck.
Okay.
The back, I was going to get a surgery on my lower back, but I backed out on it because what happened to my surgery on my neck?
Sure.
It made me develop this CRPS thing.
Gotcha.
And also had a surgery on my left hand for my carpal tunnel,
mm-hmm.
which is I'm a left-handed person, and I do mechanic works. I've been working as a mechanic for 35 something years.
Okay.
And also I'm 55 years old, or 54 years old, I mean. I'll be 55.
So, I mean, you're getting into the grid out territory. You're an 8-step sequential instead of the 5. So as long as you keep your impairments showing and they're, being the same severity or getting worse, you should be okay. Are any of your impairments improving?
No, my CRPS is stopped improving. It's where my left hand is. I can't grip simple, like doing simple work,
mm-hmm.
like chores at home, and I'm a left-handed, and I drop like a glass of water, or anything, and it's kind of shaky. And also, I do have a depression that I go to therapy with. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, man, you're probably going to get one or two more, and then they're probably going to close it out and not do it anymore. So I would expect 1 to 2 more, and then you're pretty much there.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you for your help. I was going to ask you another question. I don't know if you have time.
Yeah, go for it. It's the end. I mean, I'm supposed to end it at 30 minutes, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably not related, but with my disability, do I know you're not like what do you call that, accountant? Are those I need to file for income tax return, or?
And you don't really have to file, a tax return, but I always advise people to do it, to update the IRS with your current address. One of the big things that people, to be fair, don't do is, let the IRS know what's going on. So if there's ever another stimulus check, if there's ever another like, hey, we're releasing this money to people on SSDI benefits or whatever, it's just easier if they have something that says, hey, so many months ago, you were at this address at this location for us to send the check, or, this is your current banking information at this bank, at this account number, at this routing number. So I always tell them to file it, but no, it's not, unless you're earning money while working, earning over a certain amount, do you get taxed, on that stuff? So
yeah, I'm not working, so I'm just receiving disability.
Yeah, man. I mean, in that case,
Security.
Yeah, you're not really going to be, you know what I mean? It's not. So
my last year I filed was like 2023, I think, or 2024, 2022 when I last filed.
I mean, what I would say is this, like, it's just. Honestly, man, you don't have to. You can, but you just don't have to. I always tell people to do it, to give the heads up to the government as to what's going on. But again, a lot of people, they just don't want to do it. But look, we live in interesting times. When Trump was in last time, there were locusts and, viruses and bacterias and killer bees and, it was just like, it was like the pharaohs are coming kind of gig. It was like, what are we going to do? And I have a feeling some of that's going to come back, so if something like that does come back, it's good for the IRS to know who, what, when, and where when they got to give you money. So, it's always an option. But I don't, remember, we don't know what's going to happen. But it does seem like when Trump is in, the biblical level catastrophes, they just seem to come out of nowhere, so yeah.
All right. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, good sir.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Alrighty, guys. So with that said, I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. I hope you enjoyed this video where we got to answer some questions about people with Social Security benefits. And bottom line is we will be live likely tomorrow. I do see the person calling in right now, but here's the thing. I got to, we're only supposed to do about 30 minutes. And then I got to go to bed. I actually have to go to sleep. So I will catch you all a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. Attorney Walter Hnot, please remember to go live on Mondays and Thursdays. If you want to go ahead and if I helped you out, please consider leaving a review. Go to Google and type in Disability Resolution, boop, 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 law firm, or Disability Resolution Florida, boop, 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 right there, and leave a review. I will catch you all a little bit later, and you have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you so much, and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.